best dunker of all time is Kadur Ziani.
You see, I'm like 50 today. Don't celebrate my birthday because I celebrate each second. For me, each second is a crazy opportunity to learn and to unlock the beast.
If you work, everything is possible.
My philosophy is simple. No feet, no brain. No brain, stupid. For me, but practice is first. The first to connect to the floor is what? The feet. So those are like witnesses all my movement. Those, they are like a book. They are like scribes. They wrote everything I do. For me, my first way to be smart is to practice. If I don't study my feet, I will never know something useful for me about the movement, and those is like sensitive. The sensation, connection, plugging the floor is like absorbing the energy from the floor. The floor is the energy, but with my feet, I'm gonna plug it. I'm gonna charge up. I'm gonna reload. I'm gonna use the floor like a way to build up my feet, to build up my connection, to build up my relation with the floor, to play, to know, to feel, to hear, to push, to land. Everything is start from here. Ground up. That's the key. No feet, no brain. No brain, no game.
Welcome to the Restore to Explore podcast from the Foot Collective. We're on a mission to empower humans to restore their natural health and function from the ground up, so we can all explore movement and life with freedom and confidence.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, I am speaking with Kadur Ziani and his training partner and physiotherapist, Asin Bouznana. Kadur is known by many as one of the OG greats when it comes to dunking, and some might even say the best dunker in the world. Not an exaggeration. So this is kind of a big deal. He focuses on optimizing his feet, so I'm really excited for this one to kind of hear his cheat codes and his perspective on training. So Kadur and Asin, thank you for being here and taking the time to share your wisdom with our community.
Oh, thank you,
guys. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Pleasure.
So this is your first time on the Restore to Explore podcast. So I think it's a good place to start with just your story. Let's start with Kadur. And, why do you dunk and how did you come to realize the importance of feet? And feel free to tell your story in however long or short form as you want. I'm very interested to hear it from the man himself. And I'm sure our community would love to kind of get to know you and why you do what you do.
Wow. I'm a survivor. I used to say I'm a survivor because, I have like a crazy life. So much struggling, so much, amazing experience, I learned a lot, and my story is crazy because, my first, my first ambition was to be someone in this world, because I was like so curious because and also a lot of drama in my life. I'm the ninth from a 12 sister and brothers from a huge family, immigrant from Algeria. So I was like, I lost my daughter. She were like 1 year old, and when I was 9, and for me I was like, okay, it's already too late. Death. The relation with the death, it's over. And why I'm here? Who am I? So I start like this, and then I was like, man, I need to be someone. So I try to communicate with people. I have so many blemishes, like I have like long teeth. I was like skinny, poor, and we grew up like in the poor background. So I was like, man, if I want to be someone, if I want to know why I exist, and I need to search, I need to explore, I need to know why I'm here and why one day we're gonna die, and it's already too late. I'm gonna die one day. So I was like, okay, let's try to search. So I start to develop a way to exist, a way searching why I'm existing and why I have to find something to talk to me and to others. So I was like, so I start to use my body because I think the body is like the first way and the universal way to talk to me and to talk to others, to exist. So I start to develop using the body like a way to talk, body language, absolute way to talk. Primitive, but absolute, way to talk. Act, fact, gonna tell better than words. Words are only illusion. So I start to develop my capacity to learn about my body, to know why this universal mechanic is here and how to use it. So for me, I turned my eyes inside and was like, okay, now since 9 years old, after losing my daughter, I was like, that was the first born, I born to the life because I was like, now it's already too late. Death's gonna happen. Death happen only to those who have lived. So hurry, let's go. No wasting time. The goal for me was the death. Man, I don't want to rush on it. I want to know before before it will come why I'm here and how I use this time to understand, to talk to me, to talk to myself, and to be able to exist. So the sport was a way for me. The sport to develop this body and to use it like a camel, like a cat, like a gorilla, like a car, like a plane, like a bird. I was like, man, and I was alone, beautifully, beautifully alone. This loneliness was like a crazy way for me to use this ghost. When you are alone, you love to be alone because in fact you are plenty inside. So much, I was like trying to give a name to each part of my joint, 360 joints. I was like, I need to know each one by them, like pam 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 pam. Imagine the time. The time was like for me, like, hey, I don't have each second is an opportunity for me to learn about, to know each of them, and then to use it like crazy. I was like, my time was like, true talent cannot waste time. My goal was to understand my mechanic, to understand myself, and to use this like a way to talk. Universal language. For me, the beauty, the heart is a way to talk. So I start to develop this capacity to learn, to talk to the people. More I know myself, more I spend time with myself, more I hear. I was like hearing, listening. The beauty was there. For me, I have everything. I need to unlock my freedom, unlock my understanding. Understanding is the master of locomotion. Is the master of is emotion. So I was like, I need to learn, and I need to know how it works. So I was like my first doctor, my first student, my first teacher, my first. So then I tried to increase this capacity to talk. And for me, it was not about performance. It was about I talk good. I'm closer to the good, to the good words. I was closer to the good way to talk, the good way to use these mechanics. And for me, it's like the same today. I still learning every day. I'm a student. I'm not a teacher. I'm like using my body, and then I start to have like some result. Some result like jumping high, running fast. You know, and for me, I was like slamming to the world. I mean, talking like crazy, and the sport, this body language, this was like a crazy way for me to resist, and to send this message to the world that we are so important, and we have like something crazy. We have everything is inside, and we need to liberate it. So I was like a goalkeeper. I did box, volleyball, football, soccer. I was like touching everything, for me, because what? Because everything was a way for me to talk better by any means necessary, by any talk necessary. I was using the gift, the immediate gift of the imagination to know my body better and to use it better. And this is Kadur Ziani. I have like, after this is like in a crazy adventure, a crazy like exploring, playing, hearing. I mean, I call it like Ziani land. Ziani land is the world around the environment, and you is like find the Zianimal. The Zianimal is like the peace inside. The table is already set. You have everything free, freedom, liberate those animals. They are like, the nature is like, I was like, wow. And still today, I'm like, I feel plenty alone, but I'm like also talking to people because you see, I'm like 50 today. I don't celebrate my birthday because I celebrate each second. For me, each second is a crazy opportunity to learn and to unlock, the beast, unlock those capacity I have, unlock this understanding, this knowledge. I'm like exploring, and my philosophy is simple. I like honoring the past, helping the present, and to build up the future. So I'm here to every day learning how I'm going to use standard, how I'm going to help my present, and how I'm going to seek and, keep searching sciencey, but also research, exploring the new version possible from me. So I'm like open to everything, trying. The unlimited gift of imagination is helping me to search, to find and to try intuitive. But that was like crazy because like, now they see me 50 years old dunking. The invisible is now visible because I'm like so simple. I'm doing really simple stuff, to beat all those records I have, the highest jump. And I put my shoulder on the rim. I was like looking inside the rim. Why? How? Because every day was like I was using simple stuff, but loyalty every day, repeat, self-discipline, loyalty every day, repeat, patience, time, using the time, and those simple stuff, gonna be like crazy by the time, only by the time. So I was using this. Now people were like underestimate, or no, they are not like, oh, it's so basic, but no, it's not basic. Use some basic stuff during 40 years, you will see if it's still basic. It's like Bruce Lee say, be water. You and none of those drop on the rock. Water, 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 water. The water will win, but only by the time, only by the repetition. So now I'm happy because I'm 50 and the people realize that, whoa, is that those simple stuff make him like this? Yes, yes, but only why? Only how? By the time, by the repetition. And this is why now I'm so happy. And with this book, Maintenant at Revealed is like so simple, not about the cover, not about the paper, but all about the knowledge and all those experience, lifetime experience, become method. And from exercise, I'm like living my living my philosophy like a way for me to. It's easy. It's no more like oh, I have to do those things. Or I'm talking a lot because my friend is like, yeah, and Asdin is, me better, and that it's so I'm so proud because now the time is to liberate words, to explain like this opportunity, and I'm so happy to be able to talk now, because before to talk you need to show, you need to lead, you need to lead by example. So I was like spending all my life to and all those experience, and now it's time to tell injury, the school of hard knocks, the school of hard injury, the school of, you try risk, the school of risk, the school of those were my teacher, risk, injury, experience. No matter what I go, even when I was dunking, I was taking risks, ready to all in, put my life on the table and restart from zero. And I break myself, I'm gonna restart myself, restoring, gonna be an opportunity to be doctor. So I was like, surely crazy, but not stupid. At the end of the day, I was learning a lot. Crazy, but not stupid. Stupid don't have limit. I know my limit. I know one day I'm gonna die, and I know before that I need to learn. I don't care about what's gonna happen. I prefer to see by myself. This is expensive test. I'm gonna have this flavor of feeling. I don't care about. And now I wrote this, and all those experience was like for me a way to liberate this knowledge to make it useful, not for me, for others. And a lot of anecdote, a lot of experience, yes, sir. But also because I'm coming from the high jump, all those standard soccer, I was professional in soccer, and I know how it works. I know the standard. I have so many mentors in high jump, like Henri Elliott. He jumped like 2 meters 17 in a belly way, not in Fosbury. He's a goat of high jump. He teach me a lot about tibialis, about toes, about everything. So for me, I grew up like this. I respect the standard. I honor the standard, but I'm free to take those risks to learn more and to be injured if it's possible. I don't care, but now I know. And this is cruel, this life of experience, but it's real.
But
And
it's
this
true.
knowledge is real because this is why the people they like it. Because I still try to learn how to transmit to giving back this knowledge. And I was like simply wrote like simple way, but trust the time. Trust the time because you know two soldier, the time and the patient, they are like two soldier, time and patience. And the two tools, repetition, self-discipline and repetition, those two tools, you got it. And the goal is what? To dominate and to be a master of your thing. So we have everything. You have time. You're gonna build patience by self-discipline and repetition. You're gonna build loyalty, and you're gonna dominate, and you're gonna be master of your thing. So simple way, simple stuff, simple exercise gonna become like crazy good way for you. Like every day you're gonna be happy to do what you have to do, not like a job. Like I need to go to train, blah, blah, exercise. No, no, social tissue adaptation. Make it social, make it you, make it habits, make it like prayer, make it like, and then you're gonna develop this capacity to love what you do and to repeat what you do, and because even if it's not visible, your improvement, you for sure, surely you're gonna win, and you're gonna win only by the time, patience, because you have patience, and you're gonna have this loyalty to repeat. I'm wake up early in the morning because I know the sun is here. I'm here, because I need to. It's like a promise, and this is Kadur Ziani.
Beautiful. Very powerful. So many things there too. I think the consistency, the desire to show up and to not waste time. And I think people underestimate how profound the impacts of simple things done consistently can actually be. And here's an example. I know you don't celebrate your birthday, but today is your birthday and you're 50 and you can dunk. And so you're right. It's like you are the living example that simple things done consistently can yield extraordinary results. So thank you for that beautiful intro. Asin, I'd love to know a little bit more about you. You're Kadour's training partner and physiotherapist. I'd love to know, what brought you to, what kind of work do you do? What's your story? What's your background? And just give us a little bit of context to who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into a few questions.
Yeah, I'll try to do a bit shorter than Kadur.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah. So I start sports early in high school. I start by basketball and karate, and after I found my way on gymnastics. So I liked when I saw some guys flipped, twisting, and everything on the elements, high bar, P bars, pommel horse, and everything else. I want to do that sport. It's so complete. So I went there. I fell in love in it. I start to train also all the other kids. So I spent so many times in that room, and in parallel, I had my studies. So I went in sports studies. I have my degrees on strength and conditioning. And at that time, it was in 2003. It was difficult to work with strength and conditioning. It was not like crazy like today. So I liked how, since I was kid, how the body works. So I was always looking, even when I was kid, the atlas of bodies, the muscles, the bones, and everything. So after 2004, I went in Brussels to study physiotherapy and how to manage the injuries, the pathology, and everything. So after I finished in 2008, and in parallel, I used to do gymnastics, but a bit less. So I was in high level in French championship, and so with my contact, I start to work with athletes. So I opened my own clinic, and I start with high level in tennis, and also with soccer players, and now with MMA fighters. And what I like, what gymnastics told me is how to learn some kinds of figures or elements, and um, the way to talk with kids, to learn the pedagogy that you can have with people in face of you. So I really like this kind of approach. And also, in gymnastics, you have to be mobile and control all the elements that you have to do, and you have to get strength and to be flexible. So this is the two things that you can perform with. And year after year, I worked on that topic with my athletes. Also to, I don't like prevent injury, but you cannot prevent injury, but reduce the risks of injuries.
Yeah.
So
Mitigate injury.
yeah. So year after year, so I had patients, and I met one. I thank him today, Christian, who told me, a guy, I know a guy. I heard about Kadur in that time when he used to dunk and everything, but with an ear like far away. And he told me, hey, guy, I, I want you to meet someone, Kadur Ziani. You're on the same page, man. Okay, Kadur, yeah, I heard that name. Okay, let's let's go. And we met Kadur maybe 1 year ago, and the match was crazy. Like, okay, mobility here, then the foot, and okay, we are on the same page. Let's make something together.
Hmm.
We cannot do another stuff together. So yeah, we're here today talking with you, and we want to share the Kadur philosophy.
I mean,
Amazing.
Asin is really humble. He's training like big guys like Benzema. He's like doing physio. He were in Saudi Arabia. He's training like Cyril Gain and all those $1 million athlete. And it's, man, that was like for me big respect, because I respect the standard. I respect those people who really know the studies. But also why? Because me, I'm like you see, I'm like a lot about the feeling, a lot about the. I came from the standard, but now I spend a lot of time to explore, because I really want to help myself to resist to the time to maintain my functionality, my capabilities. But I need also to be I mean, this credibility, because people, they, yeah, it's like this, they trust. When you have like you are professional, you have like you are to school and you have like degrees on this and this. If not, you are like on the side. And I was like, man, I don't care about to have my degrees, to go to the school, to go to Harvard, to Harvard, to go to have those, I mean, diploma. I prefer to study. So when I met Asdin, for me, it was like, okay, let's let's have this crazy combo, sciencey and also the freedom. The mobility is freedom, because we need to, and we know we don't know everything. We need to learn. We need to search. With so many things to learn. And so in this locomotion, discipline, this game is like all about curiosity and try to search a new way to help. So that was a crazy combo we have. And now when I talk about my approach, and he told me he do like the same definition with the standard. I mean, with those the wording, the words, explain me all this, na na na. And for me, it's like, okay, I show, you tell. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's
That
crazy.
makes sense.
Because under every human with amazing capacity is often people who understand the science of physiology that can sort of help usher them in the right direction. And I think you need both. It's kind of like yin and yang, right? If you have one without the other, there's a piece missing and it's incomplete. And I love that you talked about a philosophy, because I actually think that most people these days have a training methodology, but what they're actually truly lacking is a training philosophy, a broader context to the nature of the approach. And I just love, one thing you said initially was this notion that movement is the most pure language that humans speak, right? Like the actual English is a communication method that we're using right now, but the OG pure unmanipulated method of expressing ourselves is actually movement. And it's funny because when we talk, it actually is movement of our vocal cords and our lungs. But and the other thing that jumped out with what you said initially, Kadur, was just this idea of like a daily showing up daily to get to know your body with curiosity is almost like prayer, right? And I think that's a very unique and special perspective, and something I share because it really is this visceral experience of getting to know your body with curiosity, not trying to force yourself to do something, not trying to aspire just towards the objective, but literally just the curious drive to explore your body and get to know yourself on a different level, right? Not just enough to not be in pain, but really deeply explore all the nuance of how this incredible thing works and how you can master this organism. And I think that's really powerful. And for people who are listening, Kadur had brought up a book when he was initially talking, and I believe that book is The 7 Postures, correct?
Exactly, this book.
So let's talk about the 7 postures, because most people are going to be listening to this, not watching it. And so let's talk about the 7 postures. I guess starting out is like, what are the 7 postures at just a high level? Why are they important? And, what part of you really was motivated to work together? I assume you worked together on the book to actually write this book. Like what made you want to do the hard thing to put your philosophy into writing to give this gift to the world? I'd love to just understand more about the 7 postures. And then at the end, we'll make sure people know where to get the book if they'd like to read it. So what are the 7 postures? Why are they important? Why'd you write the book?
We have 3 quests. The quest of, you want to talk. And then you have the second quest. You want to talk. Excellent. And then you have the third one. You want to giving back. It's like this. I know how to talk. And then so I need to first, which mountain I'm going to climb, which discipline going to make me able to talk the best. So each one have a discipline. Now I know my mountain. My first quest, I know I'm going to climb this tree. And then you climb this tree, this mountain, you're going to be excellent, because it's like dunking the best way, and you're going to learn everything, and then you're going to teach. So this is a way to this longevity, to know yourself and to talk to others, because I want it for others. So the last quest is like giving back, make it useful for others. So when I was like, I decided to write a book, because also Ben Patrick inspired me a lot. He told me, man, you need to write your book. I'm gonna help you. He did the review, and to help me, and he said, man, you need to write your philosophy. So I decided to, okay, let's go, let's do it. And my wife helped me a lot, because she's like a PhD of literature also, so she helped me a lot to write the book.
So you have a good team.
And then I was like, okay, my philosophy is like, let's make it like so simple, because I want to help like because my life is like simply simple. I want to help, and the seven posture in my what something will look like me, but in a really simple way. I was like, okay, I define myself like we have like four spot that everybody have to work: the toes, the ankle, the knee, and the hip. So let's uh, let's have like those four joints and help them help the people, because that's what my idea of mobility, to help the people to unlock toes, ankle, knee, and hip. So I decide to bring in my way of life, because like you say, social is it's a methodology. My methodology is a way of life. It's a state of mind. It's not a sport. I live like this. When I never stop. I'm doing microdose. I'm doing every day. So I'm like, okay, let's try to help the simply way. And so it was hard, like you say, like to make me shorter. Like it's like my 3 years to know how to talk, all your life to shut up. For me, so it's like hard to reduce my philosophy. So I decided to say, okay, I'm gonna select seven movement. That's gonna be like the manual of the mobility. So seven supposed to focus on four elements: toes, ankle, knee, hip. And I decide to, okay, if I want to help the most of you people, beginners, sport, athlete or not, let's try to first start with the feet, toes, big toes. And then when I meet Asdin, the first topic was what? Was the big toe. I say the big toe is like the first digit, the missing piece. For me, it's like an extension, the quadruple extension for me, and not only the ankle, the knee, and the hip. I use this like not only like driving, but like also to grab and push. You see, so I was like, man, I'm gonna tell you about the big toe. So he start to tell about the big toes, man, because in our philosophy, in our culture, in our religion, this is why it's like so crazy to talk about philosophy. It's deep. But me, I was like, if I wrote this book, I cannot make it like too deep, because people are going to be lost. So let's start first to write the book, and then maybe one day we're going to do it better, like with the app. In November 29, we're like cooking a map with Asdin. So he spoke with me, Asdin, and we talk about the first digit, this big toe. And he was like, okay, I'm going to write specifically on the book. And we have like a special part on the book. Like Asdin is like doing like a crazy analysis, scientific analysis about what the hell with this, and why this is the missing piece for me in this industry. We need to start with the beginning. You start with what you have to, and then what you want. What you want is to achieve the great goals. I mean, to be mobile and to use it to get stronger in movement, not stronger in stronger like no stronger in movement. So we start to develop, and as Dean start to work big analysis in this posture, in this big toe, and now I'm happy because I wrote this. When we finish this, I try to also give how to apply this philosophy, this system, microdosing, not too much, within three type of stretching: static passive, static active, dynamic. Dynamic means movement, active, dynamic active. So we try to give some few elements that really simple, really concise, precise, but you're going to use it like this in your life, everywhere, anywhere. You're going to have like few space, but you're going to be able to do like those posture. Those posture are like so crazy simple. You have this position cat, and then you have the cow is like this, and then you have like the frog, and then you have like the camel, and then you have like grasshopper, and then you have like pigeon, and then you have like gorilla. all those 7 postures, you are able to use it every day, everywhere, simply, and with only body equipment or loading. That's going to be, for me, like a basic way to give my philosophy in like few elements, 7 elements, 7 animals, and the humility, simply using the time, repetition. And for me, that was for me a big step, because that was my big way to help all the community. Because in this 7 posture, we teach a lot of stuff: the capacity to rest, to regenerate, to repose. We in the game performance, they are all talking about the capacity to activate, but they are not talking about the capacity to use the floor life, repose, regenerate, build up this internal language with yourself. Hear, listen, question, stop, sleep, rest. All those for me was this is my philosophy. And this is the 7 posture, and now we're going to explain it more deeply. This social way to live, understand, is a way of life. Understand is not exercise. We don't like exercise. We start to exercise and then we make it, oh, it's me, it's funny, not
Yeah,
like.
that's a good point. That's a good point. He's putting his finger in something really special that we used to, in the gyms and in the therapy places and everything. We used to say, okay, you have some 3 sets of 10 repetition and everything. This is exercises. So when you put something in the mind of someone who wants to be better, with something external, like, okay, you have to do this, like a treatment. Okay, the treatment is to put that kind of thing like usual. Don't, oh, how many reps I have to do, how many sets, I don't remember. No, no, it has to become a way of life. It has to become a way of life. If you have that part in your mind, okay, you win everything. And the what Kadour wants to say also is that the ground is the base. We all, when you see people all goes behind an office, sit on a chair and working behind a computer so many hours, and no, try to come back on the floor, and this is everything. The floor is the base, and you can feel your body and you can talk with your own body. Am I comfortable in that position? No. Okay, I will find another. Okay, you're looking for something with your body. That's the most important.
Floor life. That's the floor life. Even on a it like on a floor.
We wanted to take a quick break from the episode to let you know about our ultimate free foot health resource. If you're listening, you've probably already started the journey towards improving your foot and movement health, but if you're still wearing conventional shoes most of the time, that's anything cushioned, heeled, narrow or rigid, it's kind of like taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Knowing what shoe is right for you though can be super confusing. That's why we made the Guide to Foot Freedom. We've taken everything our team of foot health experts have learned over the years and synthesised it into one handy manual, packed with all you need to know about unleashing the natural power of your foundation. You'll learn how to understand your feet, the truth about modern footwear, the 5 F's for finding natural footwear, plus a step-by-step guide with training videos to help you assess your foot function and improve it so you can safely and seamlessly transition into shoes that will finally give your feet freedom. The best part is, like I said, it's absolutely free. Just head to thefootcollective.com and click Learn to find the free ebook, The Guide to Foot Freedom. You'll find the link in the show notes. Now back to the episode.
Yes, I agree. We're all about, that's one of our biggest principles at the Foot Collective is make your movement practice your lifestyle. Like you're
Yeah.
trying to do it externally. It's kind of like supplements, right? It's like if you don't move at all during the day, then you have to take these movement supplements, which we often call exercise. But that is actually a counterproductive way of going about it. The goal is to just have more movement nutrients and postural nutrients in your life by using these different postures every day, all day. And then you actually don't need the supplements. And it goes from being something that's extra and work related that no one really wants to do to something that is just intricately part of your way of living. And I think that's the really powerful element where once you can make your movement practice part of the way you live, embedding it deeply into the way you live, we actually no longer have to take these additional supplements and do this work that most people kind of lose a joy of doing because they don't really get where it's trying to bring them, right? It's kind of like this just mundane work that actually we lose the motivation to do and we lose the desire to keep doing it. Yeah. And I think that's a really important part of the philosophy where it's like posture just means position. And these 7 postures sound like these essential positions that any human who wants to have human capacity should be able to imbue into their life in a variety of ways so that to an outside person, it should look like you're never quote unquote exercising. It literally just looks like you're living in alignment with human biology. And I think that's a really powerful part. And I have a question for you, Asdeen. In the world of physio and therapy, why do you think the toe is so overlooked? Like it really seemed to me that when I was practicing, it was almost like out of sight, out of mind. Everyone wore shoes, so we kind of forgot that we had feet. Yeah. And, as such a crucial element, foundational element to the body, why do you think it gets sort of forgotten or skipped over? Like, curious to hear your thoughts.
First, I think is because of the shoes. Yeah, clearly. And when you look at your foot, okay, it's a triangle. You have your big toe, your pinky, and your heel. And inside this triangle, you have another triangle, your big toe, with the second phalange and the sesamoid bones. So that makes another triangle. So you have a stable element in other stable element, which is your foot. And when you wear some shoes, you don't have, it's like you want to play piano with gloves. It's the same thing. You cannot play piano with gloves. Okay? So it's the same thing. With your foot, you have to have a lifestyle with maximum barefoot living. Okay, now I can understand when you go in the rocks or walking in the streets, it's a bit dirt and everything. You can wear some shoes, but adapt your shoes on your foot. So you have that kind of brands who does that, and it's really, really cool. And I'm telling that to my patients. Okay, if you have city shoes, okay, try to change. You have some shoes are better to you, and after that, you can focus on your toes and your foot and everything. Even when you work behind the desk at the office, you can take off your shoes and work with your feet. Okay, and if you want, okay, you go in a meeting, you're with your suit and go outside. Okay, put back your shoes if you want, but you have to choose the right shoes, and you have to increase the space of your foot in your brain. You know that we have the homunculus of Penfield in your brain, and you have the map. You have the map of your body, and if you put a lot of stimulus in a part of your body, in your brain, it will increase the space. So, when you broke a bone and you're in a cast and you doesn't move it, in your brain it will be smaller. But as soon as you taking off on the cast and you try to stimulate, it will come back. Okay, but okay, you have the comeback, but you can also put it more further. So like a pianist, he has these hands in the brain, like bigger than anyone. Okay, when I'm telling this example that you had some people maybe 40 years ago, they were born without arms because of medics. The pregnant patients had to take was telotomid, and some guys it was malformations, and some people were born without arms or hands. What's the solution? Feet. And now they can write a paper text with the feet and do whatever you want with it. So the brain is amazing. So this map will grow and help you to be a better like uh, to have better mobility and control, self-control and everything. So you can have this adaptation. So these adaptations will come with the social living, sitting on the floor, the habits that you will have, and it takes time, but it will come.
Beautiful. Kadur, I think your mic got muted for some reason, but I'd love to hear your take on that. So you might have to click some sort of button to unmute yourself, Kadur. I'm not sure why that happened. You can't. Yeah. Can you hear me, Kadur? Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. Maybe try speaking. I want to make sure I can hear you. Or you might have to click a button to unmute yourself. For some reason, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah.
Can try saying something? Can't hear you. So I'm not sure why that's not working.
Okay, and now
There we go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that was really profound, Asdeen. You're right. It's like the body is incredibly adaptable. If a body part's not being used, the body literally just prunes away the nerve loops that are in charge of that area. And if you're born without arms, your brain has more capacity to allocate towards areas that do work, and they end up being very adaptable. And I think when we trap our feet in these shoes that don't actually allow our feet to move or sense the ground or have the muscles work, we basically lose capacity we lose that space in the brain in charge of our feet, and we lose capacity at the feet. But that same adaptation process happens in the inverse too, where once we start using our feet again, going barefoot, wearing natural footwear, wearing shoes that allow our feet to work, and actually pushing the capacity of our feet by just challenging them, putting them in different positions, putting them under different loads, we end up reclaiming this huge innate capacity at our foundation that forms just a more robust footing for physical capacity and movement. And I think most people don't actually know the true importance of feet as the foundation for our bodies, and also the true potential of how much adaptation can happen in terms of your foot strength, your mobility, the resilience at your feet, in terms of their ability to communicate with the rest of your body how best to move. And yeah, Kadur, I'd be really curious to know, when did you start really appreciating the importance of feet, and how have you found the process of like conveying this? Because I think most people just don't think about feet, and once they do start thinking about them, there's this big opening where it's like, wow, I wonder what else I didn't know that I can now learn. So when did you start thinking of feet, and how has your experience been explaining the importance of feet to people who maybe aren't aware?
My philosophy is simple: no feet, no brain. No brain, stupid. For me, the knowledge, the from practices, from down to up, is like theoricism is here, but practice is first. And the first who finish the step is what? Is the feet. The first to connect to the floor is what? The feet. So those are like witnesses all my movement. Those, they are like a book. They are like scribes. They wrote everything I do. And you can write your steps. Everything you do, if you more here, you can read your structure. And for me, my first way to be smart is to practice. Practice. Now I know. If I don't practice, if I don't study my feet, I will never know something useful for me about the movement, and those is like sensitive, the sensation, connection, plugging the floor is like absorbing the energy from the floor. The floor is the energy, but with my feet, I'm gonna plug it. I'm gonna charge up. I'm gonna reload with the camo. I'm gonna use the floor like a way to build up my feet, to build up my connection, to build up my relation with the floor, to build up this integrity, this structure, able to absorb, equilibrate all the tension, to play, to know, to feel, to hear, to push, to land. Man, everything is start from here. Ground up. That's the key. No feet, no brain. No brain, no game. You see,
And
this
that,
is really simple. And
very
this responsibility, because we have what? We need to talk. We need to build up this capacity to talk. This is like a pen. This is like a way to, it's like more you know your feet, more you read, more you have the capacity. And for me, it's like the most important. Understanding is a master of everything. Understand your feet, you're going to be able to read everything, situation. You read your locomotion, how it works, because the big toes is the extremity to the hip. This is the locomotion. You see, this is the movement we need to learn. And the hip, rotator, flexor. This is what we need to understand. This is a crazy big responsibility to take care of the capacity to talk. With that, I'm going to be able to talk by by walking, by feeling, by building this structure. I'm going to be able to move. I'm going to be able to talk. I'm going to be able to do some crazy stuff. I'm going to be able to know myself, to know my mechanism, to know how everything is related. It's like, the world is like this. For me, the capacity to talk is the capacity to relate, to build bridge between me and others, between toes and ankle, between ankle and tibia and knee, between knee. This is the relation. Religare. Religare in Latin means put, put together. Relink, religion, relink, relink. You with the sky, the ground with the sky, relink, up and down, fusion, theory, practicism, theory, religion, religare, build the kinetic chain. This is the chain, you see. And we think holistic, everything is related, but everything starts with this. I think, and everybody have this responsibility to take care of this feet, to build up all your body like a way to talk, to see, to read situation, and to take the measure of what's happened. You're going to be able to take a distance and read all those situations, to feel, to anticipate, not prevent injury. We are not like, reading on the, we are not like anticipating is better than try to read. I mean, to read before. When you feel you're here, you have this capacity to talk, to see, to visualize, and to materially, to 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 manifest the energy and use it like you need. That's a big
almost like
responsibility.
it's almost like feet are the gateway to the language of movement. And if you don't have functional feet, then you can't read or express the language of movement optimally. And it's like a big block for a lot of people, I think, who are actually spending all this time and energy trying to train a functional body that can actually move well. But if they're actually ignoring the gateway to be able to optimally express movement and read the world around you, the way the body reads the environment is through tactile touch. It's through actually like engaging and interacting with it. It's not through our eyes. Our eyes help, but actually the feet are the incoming pipeline of information that can then be read and interpreted by the body. And if we don't have the interpreter, we can't actually engage with the environment productively. And I think, something that I found is that even in the highest level athletes, professional athletes, if you open up that portal of the feet and get them to acknowledge feet as important, it basically unlocks this insane amount of athleticism and this insane amount of durability. I think durability, I really like that word, meaning that an athlete who can perform at a high level for a longer period of time without breaking down is more durable. And this notion that unlocking the feet unlocks this beautiful, untapped resource of athleticism and durability is just really still not in the common culture. It's still not in the highest levels of strength conditioning and athlete training. And it seems like this giant opportunity that you seem to have been able to articulate and put down and convey, and I think is actually picking up a lot more momentum in the common culture of athletes sort of starting to understand, wow, it turns out my feet are a big opportunity for me because I'm leaving athleticism and performance on the table by not acknowledging my feet. And I'm also, by not acknowledging my feet, not doing a great job at protecting all the other joints upstream, because the feet are the primary conduit to give those joints information about performing well and also about not breaking down.
Exactly.
So yeah, those are the feet are just they're just so simple, and we hide them in shoes all day, and there's dirty, stinky things that no one pays attention to. But when you do, it's like this new world opens up, and it's very powerful.
This is why I was speaking in my wording. I'm like using the word of the doors, unlock, maintain, because the feet, and when I say, the invisible is now age 50 visible. When they see improvement, because I was hard, I was like, what the hell is doing, And now my life, I'm dunking age 40, 50. Whoa. And so they get back to what I was doing, and like, maybe it works. And now you see everybody walking barefoot. But remember 30 years ago, I was hard, I was strange, I was crazy, I was dumb. And now everybody is like promoting my way of life, or what? Everybody's barefoot or what? So for me, it's like a crazy time provide, because the secret is to do what you have to do first. And what you have to do first is to take care of your feet, because by this you're gonna this is the first door. Toes, big toes. The big toes is the first door. And all those toes, like to play piano, to build up this plantar fascia, this first connective tissue, this first small muscle, small connective muscle, connective tissue. And then you're going to be able to understand, it's related. Yes, kinetic chain. You're going to understand the ankle, and then the knee, and then the hip. It's related. Belly muscle, muscle of the soul, and then you're going to be able to move. This is the locomotion. And what is good, and this is why I'm happy with Asdin. We are like, we cannot tell, but we are like training some big athletes, and unlocking the imagination, finally unlocking the perspective. Now I know floor life. That's really important. Round up, that's really important. You want longevity? You want to add years on your career? You want to add million on your career? Floor
and
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. You said that, like, I wanted to say, you said, like, even blind people, the only relation they have with the world is the feet. Yeah, this is the door. This is the door, and you can walk with it. You close your eyes, you put your hands on your ears, and the only contact you have, your feet. All the nerves that you can have under your feet are so tremendous, like the hands, but okay, less, because we use the hands is more complicated with the muscles and the joints, but also your feet, you don't have to forget it. It's not good. So yeah, barefoot life and stimulation, way of life, and this is the way that you can put back in your body this big link.
Yeah.
You had said before, as Dean, just in passing, you said strength is the key to flexibility. I think you said that.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I think that probably doesn't. Most people probably won't tune into the truth of that. And for a lot, I think some people seem to think that strength is the opposite of flexibility because they're used to seeing really strong guys that can't move at all. The bodybuilder. But when I look at Kadur and I see some videos of how he trains, you can dunk, you can bring your foot to hit the rim of a net. So you're super flexible, but you also have the strength component of being able to have a body strong enough to jump in the air and land and do all these very impressive feats of strength and mobility. So can you explain a little bit just the notion that the key to mobility is strength? Because that resonates with me, but I think to most people, they might not really understand context.
Yeah, the thing is, you can just look about when you watch a gymnast or a ballet dancer, look at the muscles. They're huge, okay? They're huge, and they can do iron cross like crazy, and then right after they go in the parallel bars and go some dislocations on the shoulders, and they can put the legs close to they can split, they can put the legs close to the ear and everything. So you have power and strength. When you look at ballet dancer, you saw when they jumped, but have you seen how high they jump with the thighs they have? It's crazy, but it's the same. I think the sports, like collective sports and everything, they put a lot of time on strength, but not that much on flexibility. This is the imbalance way of training to me. If you have to spend the same time of building strength, explosivity to flexibility. If you can find this time, this balance of time, you can be strong and flexible. And this is how I learned in gymnastics. The training were really long, like 4 hours training, but not full training like blasted and everything. Okay, you take time for flexibility, you take time for mobility, you take time for strength and for explosivity. And this is a 4 hours training. So now we have, okay, in top athletes or professional sports, you have maybe 1 hour or 1 hour and a half for strength, and after you have techniques, and where is the flexibility that you want to learn or to improve? Is just what, 20 minutes? This is imbalance. So you have to put that time to put more balance, and it will also reduce your risk on injuries. If you have balance, it will reduce it. If you have imbalance, you will increase it, this risk. So this is really important to have that kind of, okay, I spend time on flexibility, I spend time on strength and everything, and it will be really clear for everyone, and especially for your body. Your body will like clear like water.
Yeah, I think mobility and flexibility are kind of like options, right? We train a lot of time on strength, but where we run into problems is we can be extremely strong, but if we have very few movement options, it's very easy to hurt ourselves, to go beyond what our option space is. And I think especially with jumping, the notion of requiring a huge amount of mobility and to allow for a large range of elastic energy storage. I think that's something people underestimate. You can't just be strong and dunk. You actually have to have this dynamic ability to store energy and then re-release it to launch yourself, right? Like someone like you, Kadur, who's 6 foot and can dunk and can literally touch your foot to the rim of the net, which is an insane feat. Can you talk a little bit about the notion of explosivity and storing energy and using your mobility and your flexibility to allow you to do that to an extent that most people have just no conception of how important that is? So yeah, let's talk about explosivity a little bit.
For me, we talking about flexibility, but when we do all those static passive stuff, static, active. But after we use those 7 posture like in a dynamic, active, dynamic passive, and dynamic active. So it means what? The quality of your tissue, the elastic energy, but the strong tissue, the strong ligament, strong muscle, and also not only stronger, but the connection between feet, brain, huge connection, quick connection, fast connection, neuronal, awakening. That's gonna make you like speed. That's gonna make this is the explosiveness. The capacity to send the message to all your body. Be like one, close, open, close, open. This is what we need, and this is regarding this. You need to work like overcoming isometry, like L-sit, V-sit, some stuff explosive to over and to don't put too much tension on your tissues, tendon, like this fiber muscle, fiber muscle, like this. You're gonna maintain your function. Because my idea of strength is the capacity to maintain your function, to maintain your energy. So this is what you say: stability, longevity, durability. When you do your full range motion posture like this, diagnostic posture, to question all your knees, ankle, hip. So those posture is a way to back to initial, is a way to build up some tissue, tendon, nerves, connective tissue, world-class tissue that you're gonna need to during the time when you is not gonna be like wire, like strong wire. You see, when you do like bam, it's elastic, but it's huge. And this is what I'm working, ligament builder, a good the quality of the to be able to activate quickly and to because for me mobility is the capacity to sit and to get up. You see, without your hand, the capacity to be one, the capacity to have this body like one, to connect everything and to be holistic. This is the explosiveness for me. Full range motion, strong in movement, world-class tissue, world-class muscle, world-class tendon, world-class ligament, super high quality, super high sending message. And when you send the message, like, oh, really strong to activate. This is how I jump.
It's almost like our training has become isolationist, where we look at body parts in isolation of each other and say, oh, I want to make this strong, or I want to make this bigger, or whatever it might be. And really the ability to combine all of these elements into one integrated whole is actually the peak of what training should be, right? To have an integrated, interconnected body that's each part speaks to all the other parts in this beautiful symphony. It's almost like we learn individual notes, but to actually make music, you have to be able to combine all the notes together in this fluid, dynamic, beautiful way. And I think that's where play and imagination and creativity in training allows us to explore a much more natural baseline of movement, because we're making music. We're not just working on the individual notes or chords. We're actually like putting the language of movement into a beautiful song and expressing that holistically in an integrated way. And I think that's kind of, the lack of integration, the disintegration of all of the body parts. I think that's where a lot of injury comes from. And training more function in isolated parts is not the solution. The solution is to integrate everything. And I think, when I look at you train, Kadur, and some of the videos, I see pure integration, especially from an explosivity standpoint and being able to jump and dunk. It's like that is the epitome of integration, of being able to blend strength, flexibility, mobility, and explosiveness into an integrated whole to get to the point where a 6-foot man can literally kick the rim of a basketball net. And I think you don't really need to use words. You just have to show. It's like this is the end result of an integrated, holistic training perspective done consistently for decades. This is the result. And I think just being able to articulate, I'm a firm believer that the more you understand something, the better your ability is to articulate and explain it in a very simple way, right? To explain something extremely simply, you must understand it extremely deeply. And the less you understand something, the more complicated you have to explain something. And so just the idea that you've been able to distill your philosophy into 7 fundamental human postures, I think really speaks to the fact that you understand this from years and years of communing with your body and speaking to your body and actually experimenting and living it. Even as we speak, people are listening to this on audio, but Kadour's been moving the entire time. He's cycling through postures and, he's training literally as we're speaking. So I think it's beautiful just to see you living what you preach.
You were talking about what I used to say, show not tell. I was doing the gorilla in my book, the harmony, because like we were training with a $1 million athlete with Asin. We teach him the harmony, the gorilla, the last one. We were working on this ankle, big toe, and belly muscle over there, pigeon, and the gorilla is a mix of everything. This is the harmony. Harmony means you need to use your body, the full kinetic chain, all those chains. I mean, it's like a mix of everything, strong in movement. We were specific. And now with the gorilla, it's like you need to have this integrity. Push with the ankle, push with the big toe, here, pigeon, hip, knee, ankle, everything. So this is why, it's like you were talking about this 2 minutes ago, the harmony, and then use it for the movement. Specific, then kinetic chain, use the movement, and use your discipline to make a sense of what you are working. We are working on some specific, and then we talk to everybody, we meet everybody, and we explode. We dunk, we dance, we move, we play, we explore.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, that's been 70 minutes. Time flies when you're having a good conversation. So I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. Thank you both for offering your time today. And
we need to announce the for more understanding, because the understanding is the master of everything.
Yes.
For longevity, we are cooking the November 29 app, in Android, Apple,
so you're turning 7 postures into an app.
Yeah, exactly. 7 postures.
Powerful.
So we're gonna have all those regression regarding toe, fall, knee, hip, and we're gonna help you to master those 7 postures, to use the 7 postures like in the book, in those 4 different type of stretching: static passive, static active, dynamic passive, dynamic active. And then we're gonna have a lot of regression for beginners, because I consider we are all beginner when we wake up. We are starting ground zero with unlocking. So, and then progressively with microdose, we are using those postures to make them more dynamic. And this is the full virtuous circle that we want to give to the world, with video and a lot of explanation. And Asdin did a lot of crazy good in his office when he is in Paris, because he's located to Paris. And that's going to help people. I mean, all those 7 posture in video, in app for everybody, for most of you people, athlete or not. We are not talking about level. Make it social, make it your lifestyle. My life is become a lifestyle. My life is become a state of mind. And I'm so happy. I'm free, liberate. I'm going to leave everything on the table. The table that I can go to train, because, time provide.
I love it.
I need to go to dunk after every day.
There you go.
On my birthday.
So, 7 Postures book. If you look it up on Google, I checked it out. It's on Amazon. So check that out. November 29th, 2023. Sounds like you're coming out with an app to basically put the material that you have in 7 postures into the digital realm, give people progressions, regressions, a digital form, so that they can have access to that information on their phone, which I think is very powerful. Thank you both very much for taking the time today to share. Anywhere else that you want to direct people in terms of finding you on the internet? Where can they find out more about the app? Is there a website or a certain place you want people to go?
We will send you with Kadur Instagram all the details.
Perfect.
And I'll follow this with my Instagram, AZ_sportsphysio75, and we will share for any informations.
Perfect. I will let Lincoln know to put some of that in the show notes. Thank you both. Much love to everyone listening. Thanks for being here. And we'll catch you next time. Take care of your feet and make your training philosophy your lifestyle. Yeah, that's a good moral of the story.
Never to hold. Look, this foot for your toe. Now look
Beautiful.
at my toe.
All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Ciao
Thank
for now.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Restore to Explore podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, we'd really appreciate you leaving a review wherever you're listening. That's the best way to support us and to help us reach more people. If you're after more free TFC education or training, looking for any of our TFC tools, natural footwear discounts, or you want specialized guidance on your foot health journey from a trusted TFC health professional, head to thefootcollective.com. All of the important links are in the show notes of the episode.